Imagine for a hot second that you suddenly discover that you have £50,000 that you didn't realise that you had access to. You've got to be a billionaire to not notice £50,000, right? If not a billionaire, at least a millionaire. Well, not quite. The folk in question in this video are ordinary folk working ordinary jobs. In fact, I was one of these people a few years ago, and you might be one of them too. Even if you're not one of these people discovering a spare £50,000 lying around, then pay attention to the principles and the lessons in this video, because it could be you one day, and it could be you sooner than you think. My name's Dav Moss. I'm here to educate and inspire you to make the most of your money, to live generously and impact the world beyond just yourself. Now, according to research done by Zoopla, only 3 in 10 people knew what the true value of their home was, with 45% of people undervaluing their house by an average of £46,000. And staggeringly, 1 in 10 of these discovered that they were actually sitting on £100,000 worth of equity, which they didn't realise that they had. Now, just real quick, for those not quite sure, the equity that you have in your home is the difference between the value of your home and how much you owe on your home, usually in terms of a mortgage. So let's just say you bought your house for £100,000, and over the course of 5 years, it goes up £20,000. And in that 5 years, you also pay off £10,000 of your mortgage. That's an increase in equity of £30,000. That's £20,000 that it's gone up, and £10,000 less that you owe on the place. Well, what does that mean for you? Well, if you're not a homeowner, we'll get to you in a sec. Let's just start by taking a look at the homeowners. Now, let me tell you the story about how this happened to me quite by accident. When I was a wee lad of just 22 years old, back in the pre-2008 financial crisis days, then you didn't need to worry about getting a mortgage. Anybody could get a mortgage. They'd say, "Oh, well, you haven't got a deposit. Don't worry, we'll give you 100% mortgage. Actually, no, in fact, we'll give you 110% mortgage. We'll give you even more than the worth of the house, because we know that in a few months' time, it'll be worth more than that, and you can use the extra money to refurnish or whatever you want to do. It's your money. Don't worry about it. We'll sort it out one day." Oh, you haven't got a job. Don't worry about that. You promised to get one, though? Yep, okay, we'll sort you out. That's the kind of thing that happened back then. That's how my wife and I were able to get our first flat, even though I hadn't started working and my wife was still a student. 2 days later, I started my first job as a teacher, a career from which I'm now retired. My wife and I, like the sensible 22-year-olds that we were, started overpaying on the mortgage. And then when my wife got a job, we had a double income, we started paying even more overpayments on the mortgage. We started doubling our mortgage payment. I think our mortgage payment was about £500 at the time, and we were paying £1,000 every month, £500 overpayment on this mortgage. Now, we were of the opinion that if we could have enough money to go out for dinner, go on holidays, have fun, we didn't need to spend every penny that came through. So if we had a double income and we were still able to enjoy our lives as much as we were, then it just made sense to overpay the mortgage. We didn't realise until much later that that actually isn't the best financial decision. We didn't know that mathematically we'd be much better off saving into a stocks and shares ISA, but that's a topic for another video. Fast forward 10 years and we've both gone part-time at work, so we weren't able to make quite the same overpayments that we were, but little did we know we had amassed quite a lot of equity in our home. So how would you spend that hypothetical £50,000? Let me know in the comments below. According to the Zoopla article, people spent their lottery win money on getting a better property, half of respondents, upgrading their car, 13% of respondents, to go on holiday, also 13%. And 18% of the people aged 55 to 64 said they could retire earlier. So here's the best part of what we did. We actually had access to that £50,000. So what we did is we remortgaged our house, and instead of remortgaging it at a same amount, so starting to pay off more, we actually extended our mortgage. We actually borrowed an extra £50,000 on the value of our house, and we used that as our first buy-to-let deposit. That's how we got started in buy-to-let. By using the equity in our own home, we weren't stressing to scrabble and to save for a deposit. We just did consistently living below our means, paying off our mortgage, and let time do its thing. For us, investing in the future was the obvious choice. If you're still watching and you're not a homeowner and you're thinking, when is he going to get to us? Well, your patience is just about to pay off. I want you to realise what a fantastic source of wealth a house can be. If you're planning to live in the same place for at least the next 5 years, it can be so much more beneficial to own a place rather than rent a place. You might be thinking, I can never afford my own home, but I just want to encourage you that if you are consistently living below your means, that is spending less than you earn, earning more than you spend, you will be moving forward in the right direction. There are choices available for you. It might mean that you buy a house with a friend. It might mean that you move to a cheaper part of the country. The choice is yours. You can make that decision. If you're willing to adjust your expectations and you don't have to live in the most expensive area, then buying a house could be more affordable than you think. If you are willing to move to Washington, between Sunderland and Newcastle, then you could potentially live in this place for just £17,000. And if that's not enough for you, how about this one-bedroom flat for just £20,000 in Bishop Auckland, just east of the North Pennines area? I might move there myself. Don't forget the importance of having a goal and having an aim that you're aiming for. Owning your own home is something you aspire to, then absolutely make it a priority, make it a goal, make it a target. You can do it if you live below your means and have a target and put money aside. Once you've put your money aside to bless other people, then make it a priority to save all that you can. And if you need any tips on saving money, I've got a video on that right there. If you want to know more about how not understanding what I've talked about in this video cost me over £100,000, then check out this video right here. See you in a sec. Peace out.